Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, innovating, and nearly magical Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only master propaganda hero, psych defender of the fatherland, the only sanctioned source of community entertainment, offered to a 1v1 on Crossing in the Woods. In the north, it is Basset, fighting for the Red Army, the Soviet Union, Comrade Stalin, and the 3rd Guards Mechanized Corps here with Armoured Assault Tactics with the T-3035, Radio Intercept, Vehicle Repair Training, the IS Heavy Tank, and the IL-2 Loiter. In the south, it is Angreifen fighting here for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland. Here with the 10th Panzer Division here with Spearhead, Mobile Defense, and Mechanized. Grenadier ND4 2-star versus double conscripts, and as always, a big hearty thanks to my patron supporters. Without them and their valuable support, the Propagandacast would not be possible. So big thanks goes to all those. Other people enjoy my Patreon, or you can do it via PayPal. In which we got also a big thanks to Iron Fist for his generous donation support for Propagandacast. And as you know, comment, like, share, subscribe. And if you're in the market for pre-holding Companies 3, you can do so by the link in the comments. Use the code CoH2 as it is written there, and I get a little cut of the sale. So, off to the races we are here. Double engineers, double conscripts. With Armoured Assault, we got Angreifen pushing machine gun pretty aggressively westwards here with the 5th Panzer Grenadier Company here. Straight into the conscripts walk there. Looks like it was not an attack move that was given, actually. It was just, move order there, so it's set up here, but it's going to be too late. Conscripts they will oorah right past machine here, leaving Angreifen's little dash for less than fuel point a bit off. And that's certainly one of the tricky elements of Crossing in the Woods, is that both fuel points are basically roughly split, in terms of distance. There's no, particular obvious fuel point to go for, or safe one as well, in particular for the Wehrmacht. So these kind of openings do tend for the Wehrmacht have a slight issue, which is if you sort of get dislodged early on, you could typically struggle a bit fast. So, 3rd conscript there for Basset. In the south, you've got the Pioneers moving up, digging in some Samax here, establishing a small foothold there for the Reich. And these for the western fuel point, they're being steadily surrounded here by Basset's men, popping into the nearby building, and, I don't know, assuming they're going to wait for reinforcements. What do you mean there's no reinforcements coming? Oh, right, against the Eastern Front. Nearest reinforcements on Warsaw. Anyways, back here, we'll probably see a 3rd Grenadier of Angreifen. We'll have to see what follows up next. Commander-wise, there's a bit of an overlapping elements, like, for example, command tanks and panzer sort of appear in several of the commanders here. Grenadiers is still holding up against the conscripts. 3rd Grenadiers almost on there for Angreifen. East side there, we got to push here for the eastern fuel point. The engineers have secured as well, so Basset here, at least briefly, will be getting both fuel points plus a fair amount of fuel there, meaning he's getting more than twice as much fuel than Angreifen per minute. And that's certainly something that could spiral out of control if this is something that's allowed to go on for too long. In this case, though, Angreifen is able to dislodge and dissuade the engineers there from the eastern fuel point, at least claim that for Deutschland. In the west side, though, Grenadiers here managed to overcome the conscripts, pushing the back here with a few well-placed K9 TK volleys. We got the Grenadiers setting out here, Pioneers as well there. Back at base, is going to be a 4th Grenadier Squad, does appear so here for Angreifen and the 5th Panzer Division here. 10th, actually, sorry, 10th. And there we go, tech for Angreifen. We'll have to see what it goes for. Grenadiers taking man lost there as Ludwig drops dead. We got the Grenadiers with the units in the west, pushing them back here with a few well-placed shots here from the K9 TK bolt-action rifles. Puny advancing on the center. East side here we got Grenadiers with the conscripts. Bit of light skirmishing there. Machine gun there being held forward to the front line. Barbed wire there. And tech almost done there. Machine gun gewehr setting up here on the conscripts on the flank. Supporting component for Basset. Could mean a Maxim, could mean a field gun. Could also just mean it's going to push ahead for the tank from chain command as soon as possible and be rushed out of half-tech here versus Angreifen. Which teched up there. We'll have to see the goes. So, theoretically, you could go for something like Mechanized for a fast 250 half-tech here versus Basset. Try and swing the game around on that one early on. That could, for example, help him gain back a bit of map control here from Basset. So that is an option to consider here for Angreifen. That is an option. East of the Grenadiers machine support to the conscripts there. Ground western fuel point here with the Grenadiers. Seeing there's the conscripts there in the east, Grenadiers backing up. Nothing to the base, no 250 half-track, sadly. Also crucial though, Basset doing a great work there, disrupting Angreifen fuel flow, seeing like he's getting the eastern fuel point. Basset was quick to hit the car points, then sneak up behind him. Thumbs up to Basset, really leveraging the mobility of the Soviets here against Angreifen. So, but still, again, a 250 half-track could help mitigate some of these issues for Angreifen, but so far, it does appear like he's not big on that. No commander for him at all so far. Got the point here back soon. Light machines live as Gundis, of course, augmenting their firepower significantly. Machine in the east outmaneuvered as well there. Not really looking great there for Angreifen as of yet. And there we go, Basset with the Tanko VP tank command there. And again, I'd expect a half-track here from him. Again, it's becoming more and more standard. Of course, the T-70 is still an excellent choice here for Basset, but the half-track would, of course, allow him to get something going faster. There we go, M5 half-track on the way there. Finish the contract here by the Submissions point. Like to make a nice company for Angreifen, bunker up as well. Grabbing these and fuel with the conscripts, half-track halfway done. Gunny's getting ready to Western fuel panels falling here to Basset. I mean, Basset's just got such strong map slivers as Angreifen right now. Partly again, just by avoiding like any pointless confrontations with Angreifen, just sneaking around there, looking for gaps, angles, and that exploiting them versus Angreifen fairly consistently. So thumbs up there to Basset, certainly highlighting some of the strengths of the Soviets, in particular on a map like this, where there's a lot of way to creep around there to a degree. Got Indians pushed back in the center here. Half track there, almost done. In fact, it is done. Adding the quad mount, 450 cal machine guns. Sniper here Van Angreifen. I suspect he may cancel that upon sight of the half track. I mean, he could still stick to it, but I think he's going to need a Pack 40 to put an end to that M17 anti-aircraft half track pretty fast, or he's going to have a really bad day. There we go. Cancelled, calling a pack instead. Very good choice there. West side here, Gunny's been tapping the years on the flank here. And he's right about the half track. Got 2 kills on it. And he's right by the western side. And he needs to concentrate up as well there. And an armored car for Angreifen, the 222. Maxim here for Basset. But yeah, field control, I mean, it really just continues to be like very much favour for Basset. Angreifen is just trying to keep up with fuel demands here, as Basset just excellently controls the fuel flow here versus him. So definitely gonna, I think, have potentially for sprawling into like some fast army here versus Angreifen, and that could definitely force him to have to like make some pretty specific choices. He wants to avoid getting buried beneath the tide of T-34s. Forcing healing, armoured car almost down there, grabbing the car point, teaming up these up the countries there. And he's been pushed off by the Engineers with our dangerous minesweepers. 2-2 there already for Angreifen and the 10th Panzer Division, engaging the country there by the point here. But more of the map just falls here to Basset and the Red Army. And of course, Basset, thanks to Indian Intercept, of course, is aware of the Pack 40, he's aware of the 2-2, obviously he's aware of the 2-2 because he's been shooting at him, but the Pack 40 is of course very much aware. And that means that Angreifen's going to have a very difficult like time actually getting like just, you know, into say an initial good shot there if Basset knows what he's doing. Like he's not going to get like that one surprise shot and then maybe while Basset is stunned a second shot to finish off the half-track here. So we can see that Basset is being hit a bit more cautious with his half-track now here against Angreifen. Obviously still active, but crucially he's keeping it more of a distance where he can quickly get the half-track out there and sure it doesn't like get stuck up in some stupid piece of terrain and then knocked out. But Angreifen with the sniper halfway done there, he wants to bleed out the Marxists here, he wants to see them bleed. Field gun there almost done for Basset and the Red Army. Pushing for some point here. Cutting barbed wire perhaps, no? Oh, he's actually laying down the barbed wire, but he's not cutting there. Brain fart there by me. Sniper out for Angreifen. Half-time pushing out the Grenadiers on the east side. No Pack 40 here, no other anti-tank support here. The Pack is in the west side here, of course, to help deal with the sandbags, but also in case Basset rushes in to try and, you know, prevent Angreifen getting the western fuel point. He's going to have a harder time with the half-track to do that. And the center machine gun, they're doing the Unis to try to get out the point here. East side there, we got the half-track creeping up. 2 kills, half close of veterans you want. Enforcing healing, but Angreifen is really not in a great spot. At this point, Basset could already built the Mechanized Armoured Company, and Angreifen is like at best like maybe a third of the way towards having the fuel required for his next tier, and even then like he's going to be ages away from a tank. So Basset is definitely holding the longer end of the stick here, and he's close to getting the 2-2 knocked out, but there you go, bit of bad pathing, bit of awkward timing there. Still doesn't cost them the half-track to the Pack 40 though. Field gun here spotted in a bad spot as well there, quickly routed. West side here, Pioneers, supported by a sniper squad there, pulls off against an assault there by Basset. Not exactly platoon level attack, but still apparently enough here to cause Basset to pull out with a sniper. Armored car there also down your repairs, so can't assist either. Map control wise, Basset just continues to absolutely excel. The only thing I sort of might point out, I'm not seeing any mines from him. He definitely would benefit from some mines here versus Angreifen. And of course, at this stage, he could easily get away with going for the Mechanized Armoured Company instead to just get those mobilized reserves upgrades up fast too. So, there are definitely a few paths here that Basset could be taking to further, shall say, enhance its already, I think, strong lead over Angreifen, but so far is not doing so. And another Ghanese credit for Angreifen. Angreifen, of course, I think at this stage he's realised really like help push more map control. He will need more infantry. Of course, I would have personally recommended some Panzer Grenadier, in particular versus Conscript builds. The Panzer Grenadiers typically tend to be quite handy. There you go. Field and fire on the Grenadiers here, bunched up in some nice shrubberies. They do make for a good artillery target. That's a fourth Grenadier squad for Angreifen. Either way, it does also mean that numerically in terms of squads, he does have more than his opponent. In terms of like raw infantry numbers, I mean 18 versus 16 still, but you know. Either way, though, it gives Angreifen a bit more maneuverability now versus his opponent and can allow him to grab more points. Either way, though, I do think getting a 4th infantry squad is the right choice here for him. Now that Pack 40 for Angreifen, as he is under no illusion who's going to get hit by tanks first and who's going to need a lot more anti-tank guns. And that's obviously going to be him here versus Basset, who's got the Mechanized Armoured Company up. In fact, he can rush out a T-54 from 6 in a few seconds. He can also start upgrading his men there. So we'll have to see, does he go for the T-34 from 6 or does he decide to go for the T-45? Of course, at this point, with crossing in the woods, once Angreifen's got 2 Pack 40s out, he will probably more than ever just need T-35s because with a pair of anti-tank guns, it's very relatively easy to hunker down here on crossing in the woods because it can get difficult to maneuver around tanks on because it's just, you know, for them it serves as choke points. Particularly the way they sort of converge to the same few points. If you sort of set up anti-tank guns correctly, it can be very difficult to like really leverage your armor. So at that point, Basset, I think, will also need a Katyusha, or at least a bunch of mortars to help deal with, you know, the double pack setup here. Going to use as the maximum on the east side. Still, Basset continue to enjoy most of the map here with Angreifen, but things are definitely slowing down a bit here as Angreifen, with additional infantry and supporting elements, is now able to, say, more ably control the map. In fact, he has a larger force here than Basset, because Basset, of course, by moving ahead for the medium armor, of course, has to put his resources on hold, so he can't quite keep up with Angreifen. And in fact, now Angreifen could start taking up soon himself. Got the half to rush up the eastern side here, looking to outmaneuver Angreifen there. Not a bad idea by Basset. That said, he could also go on the west side, maybe snag up some conscripts through the deeps west here and sneak up the field point that way. Straight to machine gun here in the west. Veterans 1 gain there for Angreifen's machine gun crew. After falling back here. No tech yet for Angreifen. And also, crucially, no commandant. As for Basset, we do get the T-3485 on the way. Very much expected in the end. Obviously can take a few more hits than your regular T-34-6. That certainly has its advantages. Pack there spotted. Slightly pushed back, but not fully routed. So we'll have to see what Basset follows up with. We've got sandbags here, conscript riding through the centre, western victory point falling in. Then we got 4 December of 388. Despite otherwise good map control, though, one area and got Angreifen's activity, I would say, keep some amount of control was actually in victory points, impressively enough. T-3045 there, almost on here for Basset. Pack blasting away, that's something. That's the field gun active blasting, and there you go. T-3045 out, and we got Angreifen here with Mechanized, featuring command tanks, 250-1 half-tracks, vehicle critical repair, spotting scopes, and of course the leichte Feldhaubitze 18 Artillerie. Or Haubitze. Package reinforcing here. Tech down there for Angreifen, support more co-op, I imagine, soon. T-35 destructs gun is the west side here with its 85mm gun. turning around the deal with the T-3035, at least dissuade it from being around too long. East side there, sniper being hammered here, as positions are. But the sniper is elegantly getting out of that direction. Western fuel point once more going to fall into the hands here of Basset and the Red Army. Once more constraining Angreifen fuel economy. After going around the west side with 4 kills, 32, we got the Supremo card there for Angreifen. They'll have to see what it goes for, but certainly at this point, I would strongly recommend the Stug. Eine Sturmgeschütze. We'll have to see what it goes for. I might just go for the regular Panther 4 here, or a command tank, I guess. West side here, Grenadiers stay a bit held up. Here's the Grenadiers just now get away with a light machine gun. Supremo car up. West side here, Grenadiers in trouble with the conscripts. T-35 there pushing through the foliage. Shrubbery and squirrels alike there crushed beneath its treads. And once more, Basset in control of both fuel points here versus Angreifen. Good pack 40 hits here on the T-35. Perhaps a bit too slow, giving Angreifen ample time to bring in his own tank gun, so that way push back the T-35 there. Very good for Angreifen. Less stellar there for Basset, but at least he didn't lose the tank. That would have been much worse. One thing he did lose was the conscript squad. That's definitely something I think Basset needs to be keeping in mind. Of course, is, you know, making sure he has enough infantry versus his opponent. You got Panther fast plus a bit of incendiary his rounds for the half track. Good server there by Angreifen. But Basset really needs more infantry plus some artillery, so I'd recommend the conscript squad on mortar here. You could also try and go for the Katyusha, obviously. But either way, he definitely needs more infantry as a priority. T-35 there, conducting some self-repairs. Katyusha there for Basset to blast his way through Angreifen's positions. Angreifen could here go for the Stug 3G. Perhaps he does that. He feels confident enough for 2 packs for now. Not impossible, he may do that. No, he does go for the Stug 3G. Certainly would be the most recommendable choice under the current circumstances. Good mobility, good rate of fire, penetration. You can just quick move to help increase the chance to finish off some vehicles, but also quickly in terms of, like, if a bad situation appears, also very quickly get out of there. Ground center for the Grenadiers, Katyusha almost down there for Basset. Pioneers, they're busy with some S-mines. Great versus infantry, less great against tanks. Significantly less great. North, we got the country forward to the Grenadiers here, but the light machine guns on the western munitions point, also slowly extending his presence into the east there. Field guns, machine gun, and he's moving up. And there we go, Sturmgeschütz ready. Should of course upgrade that one with some Maschinengewehren. After then, the Sun versus a Panther first, damage engine east side here though. Angreifen's forcing transmission with Basset and the Red Army. Moving up the center. Katyusha waiting at the right time to blast its many rockets. That's definitely a nice target for Katyusha. I think, yeah, Basset agrees with that one. Machine gun there suffers some losses. Armored car takes a bit of damage. Fair amount of damage, actually. Could have been worse there for Angreifen, admittedly. Could have been much worse. Still, Basset continues to control most of the map there. Though Angreifen has now been able to secure more steady map control here, plus of course 2 of the victory points. East side here, Grenadiers the con. Oh, that's actually a machine gun team. We also got the T-35 there quickly moving in to deal with that. Could move in the Stug too rapidly, trying to assist the Grenadiers against the T-35. Looks like to be exactly what he's doing, keeping the packs and reserve in the centre. West side here, another smaller scale infantry push there from Angreifen. Meanwhile, the Grenadiers these I think are just trying to buy time. There we go, got the maximum pushback. So Stug rushing in here, while Basset is aware of it. Oh yeah, I think he's realising the Stug could be coming for his T-35 and decides not to risk that one. Particularly with the Stug is supported, of course, that could very quickly cost him the T-35. Bring up the east side with the T-35, shoots. Thinking himself safe, but there you go. Angreifen right for the Stug, shoots, and good penetration hit on the T-35, which shoots and misses the Stug. Great shot there from the Stug again. In fact, all three Victor pumps would fall into the control of Angreifen versus Basset. We'll probably go for more T-35 soon. That said, I do think Basset really needs more infantry versus Angreifen. After the Grenadiers here, packs remaining. Oh, they get more active again. Of course, I imagine there is the consideration of the Katyusha in the back of Angreifen's head. Since, of course, one mistake with the packs could easily get them wiped and then falling into the hands here of Basset, which would be fairly disastrous for Angreifen. But there you go. Double shot there, clears out the half track, removing an otherwise nasty asset. There we go. Katyusha fire is raining down the packs, wiping one of the pack crews here. If Basset can get them caught, both packs wiped. Exactly the disaster scenario I just mentioned that could happen. Does happen partly again. This map does create these artillery choke points. In this case, while he could grab it, apparently Basset decides to destroy them, which is pretty good too. The key element here, of course, in destroying Angreifen doesn't get those packs back. But something's going wrong. He's not finishing them off here. This is great for Angreifen. There we go, wreck one constant bunched up here, routed. May not be able to destroy both packs. It's only losing one pack. Less great there for Basset. But also less awful for Angreifen. Another T-35, but yeah, if he'd been able to destroy both packs here, well then having two T-35s on the field, that would have been a really bad spot to be in for Angreifen. Even with one Stug, that would definitely be a two Stug situation. In fact, you could still consider going for the second one here, but we'll have to see what it goes for. Oh, well, Stug moving up here, kind of pursue that T-35. There you go, field gun that ready. Good shot there from the Stug on the T-35. Right for the frontal armor, pack joins in, but misses Stug though, does not. Almost veterans one here on the CoH2 Ausführung G. Armored covers the freshly arrived T-35. There looks like he's about to drown to the base, but I think the arrival of the second T-35 does dissuade him, but he... Oh shit, he took out the Katyusha with a 222. Basset was so preoccupied with what was going on, they just forgot the 222 was just blasting away at the Katyusha. On the other hand, we did see a Grenadier squad white drop the light machine gun, but country squads, once upgraded with this, cannot pick up any weapons, so... What's going to be the Grenadier squad holding that round, but Basset still needs more infantry, then now, of course, he will also need more artillery. But still, a 2-2 for Katyusha is a pretty good trade-off for the Wehrmacht player. Pretty bad for the Soviet. Another maximum here for Basset. You can send rounds issues with the machine guns, and the Grenadiers with the machine guns. Great shot from the T-35 there. Almost wiped out the entire Grenadier squad there with a single shot from his high explosive shells there. 85 men on the gun. Machine gun there taking a bit of a hit here from the field gun. Up these inside with the Grenadiers. Machine gun there added. Angreifen will of course benefit from infantry, but at least he's got that sort of, shall we say, basic 3 minimum squad, whereas Basset continues to operate with just 2 squads, which is typically, in my experience, 1 squad too little. Angreifen still with no additional. In fact, he's gone straight for the heavy Panzer Corps. Bold. Clearly indicates his supreme confidence in the CoH2 Ausführung G. 3 kills on that one so far. All infantry. And I think all of 3 with that single shot here. T for the farming at the eastern side. And he's being hammered in the T-35, getting them to firing at it. Obviously not going to do anything, but you know. West side gun is the maximum there. We got a Panzerwehr for Angreifen and some rocket artillery of his own to help deal with all the field guns and such. Pax was the T-35 there blasting away, then this Duke could probably move in to finish it off, at least attempt to finish it off here. Rushing ahead there for Deutschland. Oh, T-35 that panthering betrays Basset. But still this Duke doesn't spot it in time there, and the T-35 does escape him. Meanwhile, Basset with a fresh Katyusha rocket launcher packs once more in a bit of a bad spot here as they get flanked, but this time no, Basset doesn't follow up, and the packs are able to safely haul their posteriors to safety. Still Basset in the Red Army here, swiftly advances, seizing most of the points away from Angreifen once more. Back to controlling both fuel points here. Versus Angreifen in the 10th Panzer Division here. Katyusha halfway done. Stug lands another kill there. Up to 4 infantry kills now, and very close to Veterans U1. Panzerwerfer has arrived. And the second Katyusha is almost done there for Basset. They could still do with a lot more infantry. Not a lot, but at least a fair amount more infantry. Pioneers pushing for leasing fuel pump. We got the T-35 down the move. There you go, Katyusha out. Pioneers right here by the T-35 in the east. 2 men dead.
Our territory is falling into enemy hands.
Pack's being hauled to the front line, Panzerwerfer as well. It's yet to fire single barrage with it. Angreifen clearly waiting for the right target to strike. And no one still has bothered picking up that machine gun. Not even the engineers. He's being hammered with the T-35. We got the Dell Packs firing at the T-35. There's the news in the west. And there you go, Katyusha Barrage unleashed against... Oh, it's actually a Panther Barrage, but there's also Katyusha Barrage. Katyusha on the Pack, the machine gun, the Panther Barrage on the machine gun, the field gun. In a sense, mirrored targets. Similarly, almost largely mirrored experiences which like there's some losses but nothing catastrophic to either side. So I suppose both fortunate and unfortunate for both sides in that exchange of rocketry. Pax blasting at the T-35, they get a bit more movement in the east. Basset, they're maintaining, I think, fairly good field control here and good tactical awareness to at least some degree. Again, I would contend there's still the issue of the infantry, not, I think, being quite sufficient to support his aims in the longer run. I'll have to see what Angreifen's going to go for next. Another Stug will still be handy here. Will Basset at some point be going for the IS-2? I suppose is also a big question here. Because a well-handled IS-2 could be an issue here for Angreifen. Could. Because if he's got enough Stugs, that may not be too big of an issue. We'll see. Action their base in the centre. T-35 there being repaired up. Bit of quiet again. I think Angreifen lining up for push into the western side here. Being steady played out. That said, the victory points are keeping fairly close pace. Mine spotted, destroyed. We have some mines down there from Basset. Thumbs up. So what will Angreifen go for next here? He's got plenty of options versus Basset. Another rocket barrage off against the western positions on the other end of the stream. Full route there for Basset, abandoning the western positions there and allowing Angreifen more or less to gobble up the west side. Theoretically, what Basset could do now is actually launch an attack up through neck to get behind Angreifen. Like, there's no way of him, for example, like spotting time to maybe a tank moving up to destroy his Panzer from the rear there, for example. But Basset, fortunate for Angreifen, does not do that. Now we got Angreifen with the command tank, the Fields Panzerkampfwagen 4. Pack and Stug, they're firing away at the T-35, which is close to Veteran 2 here. Stug shoots, misses. T-35 does not, gaining that Veteran 2. Quick try fire heat shell here, but I guess it doesn't want to do that. It's close to Veteran 2 on the Stug, though. Command tank almost done as well here. More rocket fire there. Pack wiped out. Basset almost losing a T-35 there. Stug pushing forward. There you go. Field gun at the other T-35. Pushes in, plus constant playing here from a corner. I think that's going to force the Angreifen to withdraw the Stug for a bit, and there you go. Veteran 2 gained. Schürzen attached. Pack on the T-35 for the air. Other one still abandoned there amongst the tree line, but fortunately for Angreifen, Basset doesn't have the reserves capable of pushing through there because, again, he's got like 2 infantry squads. And like one is basically in the east and the other one's being shot at by the grenadiers. Again, we can sort of see here there's a bit of an issue with not enough infantry. Can't really exploit potential openings like this or, you know, developments. Command tank moving up, they're almost wiping out one of his 2 remaining conscript squads here. Stug, they're getting some vehicle repair done there rapidly. And Basset here with a 3rd T-35 here, just churning out those delightful medium tanks. mean, that's a pretty solid strategy too. I still would recommend some more infantry.
Neutralizing a sector.
Hack the recruit again here by Angreifen. And he's going for a mortar as well. That's an interesting development. Like, most players would like typically stick to rocket artillery and then never bother with a mortar. But Angreifen, interesting enough, is adding a mortar on top of the Panzerwerfer. Not that I think it's a bad idea at all. I mean, the mortar does provide some utility that the Panzerwerfer does not, including smoke screens, if it decides to utilize them. But also just, like, even on the barrages, it just has much, much shorter cooldowns. So, you know, you can just use it more actively. We're seeing the West being hammered the Panther battleship from Angreifen, almost wiping out the entire crew. Close call. East of the got the gun that comes in the center. Command tank going up here. Shoots half decent hit there. Stug remaining reserved. T-55 there as the command tank here. The Befehls Panzerkampfwagen 4. Anti-tank right through the frontal engine block there. Oh, front armor block there of the Panzer 4. But 3 T-35 here is a sizable armored force of Basset. If unleashed correctly here, could be a huge problem for Angreifen. Though again, the map does make it a bit tricky here without some smoke, I think, to at least somewhat suppress enemy defenses by ensuring they can't see what's coming at them. There you go, Pack on here, then again a tight clustered up spot. Again, great time for the Katyusha. Pack wiped on this, could also get wiped out here. Close call here. Looks like Baz is going for the breakthrough attempt. There you go, Vetu on the Pack. Stug there also. Of course, Vetu 2 there. Target weak point heat shield. There you go. Packed and Stug knocks out the T-35 here. Quite the blow there to Basset. Should at least destroy the Pack 40 there, I think. Good shot on the command tank. Of course, the command tank, I think, was a crucial element in ensuring that the Angreifen stuff didn't take too much damage too fast. Stug there close to 53. Close call there, but again, I feel like partly it's just that lack of infantry to quickly push in and exploit any gaps, but also maybe, you know, get the packs off the point. An additional element could have been like attacking from here, like going for a deeper flank through here, rather than trying to fit all 3 tanks here through a narrow gap, which, you know, while similarly great for like hammering in into tanks that are stuck in it, it's also great for just shooting at tanks all trying to get through the same narrow spot at the same time. T-35 there, of course, in need of repairs. Mortar there with some damage in. No kills as yet, but that could, of course, always change. Stug being hauled to the front line there. T-35 then he's pushing back the Pioneers. I mean, Basset continues to exert excellent field control here versus Angreifen. He also does have now the R2 Sturmovik Loiters ready. Panther unleashing a barrage here, 8 kills so far, and looks like that's going to keep climbing here versus Basset. Now that's a barrage. Both field gun and maximum crew wiped out. That is 12 men dead in a single volley. Actually 11, I think. Guess one was a runner. Angreifen goes in and naps the maximum, destroys the field gun. That's actually quite a blow there to Basset on the other hand. I mean, that's 2 support weapons lost. Possibly. Yup. And not only that, one of them got basically handed over to the Germans. That was a really big blow there to Basset, and I think really risks undermining his ability to control the map now, and he still hasn't bothered with that light machine gun. Do not touch this! It is fascist equipment! What does that mean? It means you'll grow unspecified but bad mustache if you touch it. Oh, God. Katyusha there, of course, in need of some repairs. Sturmgeschütz there in the ace level, but has yet to achieve that. Check the T-35. Little fun fact about the Stug armored side skirts was actually by the very end of the war experimenting with some swiveling armored side skirts on the Stug that could, shall we say, you know, handle a bit more of the terrain. You know, such, because one of the issues with armored side skirts, they were kind of rigid, and like, you know, better contact with train could cause them to fall off, so some crews really disliked them, but there's, I suppose, trying to get around that with some more swivel side skirts there. So, that was a fun fact there. There's also a common modification team to these skirts where they slightly remove a PC of the armor so they can more easily, you know, touch the front road wheel there if they need to change it. Panther barrage into the base that doesn't do anything. At the T-55 striking the east side, going to start the building here. Could be a deeper flank here against Angreifen center position. We'll have to see. Stug here backed up with the command tank. Conscripts pointlessly firing at the Sturmgeschütz. Field gun there, halfway done here for Basset. Obviously wants more of those. Would appear might actually be stalling for the IS-2 now the way it's going. I mean, he's could also just gone for more tanks instead of going for the field gun. Could also gone for an HE-5. Katyusha knocked out, and that was the second one of that. I think that one actually gone down to the grenades of the Panzerfaust. Basset's just so preoccupied around elsewhere that Angreifen's just able to creep out on it with his grenades and clear it out. Shoot the fire of the T-35 there. Good shot there, almost ace of them actually. Almost there. Lack of the pinlight machine is a bit sad though. From my perspective at least. Angreifen meanwhile had to just going for maybe a Panther. But Basset is definitely like, you know, running into some issues. He's losing a lot of momentum and he's struggling to again like, you know, make those crucial push. And again, I think part of the issue is just, you know, he's only got 2 infantry squads. It really just limits what he can do offensively and even defensively at times. Command taking team eventually too as well. But it would appear Basset is, like, at least for now, going for the IS-2. He almost has the fuel for it. He just needs the manpower. Of course, the way Angreifen are like hammering away, there is making it hard for Basset to like get the manpower necessary as well for the IS-2. Stug going ahead here again for Deutschland. More to the 1 kill veterans you want. 23 kills in the Panzerwerfer. Angreifen's been fairly successful with that one. But he's also been a lot more careful with it. Compared to the Basset, he's been kind of lax with his Katyusha at times. Which has definitely benefited Angreifen twice by now. But Basset almost has to feel there for the IS-2. And manpower-wise, he's also, you know, a minute and a half or so away from it. So he might be able to go for that IS-2 heavy tank here versus Angreifen. And there we go, Stug achieves ace level, meaning it is even faster, both in terms of mobility and rate of fire, turning into a real menace. There we go, we do get a Panther here for Angreifen, the Panzerkampfwagen 5. Ausführung A. Filmen here in the Stug, well, actually the machine gun behind the Stug. I was wondering, why would he bombard the Stug? No, he goes for Katyusha again. That is his 3rd Katyusha at this point. His 3rd Katyusha rocket launcher. By this stage, I think the gap between the two forces is growing exponentially. And I think Basset is not really helping himself. I mean, again, he's like spending so many resources on Katyushas, but he's just not quite able to leverage. And the problem is, as more Angreifen gets more and more armor, that Katyusha, at least against those targets, also becomes, of course, significantly less effective. So I can't help but feel that Basset is slightly falling off the wrong track here versus Angreifen. There we go. That's the 3rd Katyusha rocket truck out here. Got the Panther out there, the Panzerkampfwagen 5 Ausführung A. For those wondering how can you tell it's a Model A, I mean looking at the front armor, you got a slightly more complex cupola up there. You still got the driver's slot there on the front armor. Model Gs later on would on the other hand have this removed, and while some would still have this, you know, say without the chin, most would also have a, you know, say, a bit of a chin here, but basically to ensure that shots can be deflected into the top of the tank's armor. Meanwhile, the Model D just had a much more simpler cupola on top here, but you know, otherwise a lot of the same features. So, little neat identifying guy there. Max with the crunch on the west side here. Katyusha firing away here. Stug being caught in it. Most of the shots basically doing sod all. Mortar very soon with 11 kills. Good lord, that mortar's also been doing a lot of work there, hasn't it? There goes Stug trying to take out the 3rd Katyusha with a single shot. Fortunately, there smiles upon Basset, but that's all it really does at this point. Smiles. Probably a bit stressed. Oh, look, smiling, and there you go. Max, we're getting hammered in the Panzerwerfer, looking really bad here for Basset. Honestly, the Panther in the east is not really doing anything, is it? I think it's at this point more there because he likes the Panther, more less because, you know, there's really any need for it. Arguably not. There's a lot of need for the Panther coming. He's turn there. Got another light here. Basset fuel sets. We've got the Stug AC going for the T-35 here. Charging in for Deutsch. I think should load up the heat shell first. Typically can give you a nice upper hand, but there you go. Packs alongside even the Panther ramming. Knocks out the T-35 before Basset has a chance to save it. There you go. Stug with the T-35 AC. Basset charging the hero of the Soviet Union. He wants vengeance for the fallen. There you go. Heat shell it up with the Stug. There we go. Gets a nice shot there. Stun the crew here. Stug, though, heavily damaged, will need some repairs. Command tank rushing in, 22 kills here. Directed hit from the field gun right for the frontal armor. Stug holding out of there as well. Definitely needs some repairs here. That's a situation that is looking increasingly not good. He's got the fuel for the IS-2 manpower-wise. There's a bit long to go. The other issue right now is just victory points-wise. The situation is not looking particularly swell for Basset either. Another Panzer Barracks, 27 kills. This time, better with me, Mother Mortar just keeps killing. It's actually ace level 15 kills. We got a Katyusha Barracks here from Basset against Angreifen. There you go. Mortar crew being caught in the worst of it. East side here, we got the Panthers of T-35 AC landing a quick shot there against Basset's hero of the Soviet Union. Straight to the field gun and the T-35 AC with the Panther. Suffering a fair amount of damage here from Soviet gunnery. Stug rushing in there, and there you go. Engaging the T-35 once more, quite mercilessly. Slicing in the Panther against the T-35, hoping to finish it off here. And perhaps getting second thoughts. Yep. 50 points left here. Starting to look very much GG though for poor Basset. Issued 5 tank destroyer now. I feel like there's this, you know, conflict when he wants the IS-2, but the match just never really allows him to go for an IS-2 at any point in time. It just doesn't. Goes the conscripts. Panther there using the vehicle critical repair, which of course quickly fixes up most of the damage. Here's the comms from the east, roughing it off. 35 was 215. Sorry about that. 34 was 215. And there you go, H5 tanks are ready. We got a Maxim infiltrating deep here against Angreifen on the left flank here. Maxim versus Maxim. That's like World War I all over again, where the Germans also used the Maxim machine gun. Though it was, I think, slightly different from the one the Russians used. Anyways, it's right here with the T-35. Command tank in westwards, Panther firing down here. Command tank opening up here, and that's going to be nothing that one. We got the T-35 with the H-5 going for the Stug AC. Heat shell could maybe need to load up here for the Stug. There it goes, loading up. It may not be enough. There we go. Almost got it. Oh no, the Stug. There we go. Ah, too late. In the end, though, Basset at least gets the Stug knocked out, but he still loses the matches. There you go. GG. Game over. A brutal fight here on Crossing in the Woods. A good highlight of a good map control do, but also the issues if you don't have enough infantry, you can actually struggle to maintain this map control, but again, also exploit any openings or any gaps there. And I think that's one of the issues there with Basset. Like, after a certain point, he just, like, whenever, like, something bad happened for Angreifen or, like, a mistake happened, he just couldn't exploit it because he had maximum infantry reserves to really exploit it with, whereas Angreifen, these were 3, had some reserves to work with. Plus, of course, you know, he had the Stug. Plus, Basset, which is constantly plays Katyusha when he was, like, not really doing a lot with them. And there's certainly the argument he should maybe consider something instead of the Katyushas, instead of just churning out a morph to be, you know, wrecked by Angreifen. So some issues there, I think, with Basset's strategies went on. It was, I think, quite adapting well enough to the situation. Meanwhile, Angreifen, I think, was just slowly sort of, you know, exploiting the situation. He was also getting more units to help him a lot there. Like, the mortar was a good addition. And also, I think, Basset would have benefited from having himself. So, there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. I learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. Tell friends, tell family, but don't your enemies. This is Imperial Eating. Cheers. See you all tomorrow for our next episode. Bye.